Hello everyone, my name is Ivo and welcome to Cooking with the Koyas. Last week we finished making our homemade pancetta from scratch. If you haven't seen the video, I'll put a link in the description for you. It's really easy to do. And this week, folks, we're going to use some of that beautiful pancetta that we made, and I'm going to make one of my signature dishes, pasta fagioli, the Italian, traditional, healthy, hearty, wholesome comfort food. Let's get started right now. So this particular piece of pancetta has the skin still on the outside there. So I'm just going to remove that really hard skin. Okay, there we go. So we're going to be left with about 100 grams of pancetta. And basically what you're going to want to do is slice it, you know, relatively thin, maybe about 1/8 of an inch thick. Because what we want to do here, folks, is slice and dice it. And this is one of my secret ingredients for making this signature dish, this pasta fagioli. So flavorful, folks. Look at this beautiful homemade pancetta. Seriously, so easy to make, and it's so tasty, and the flavor it's going to add to our pasta fagioli is amazing. So once we've got it sliced, we're going to dice it. There we have it, beautifully diced pancetta. Okay, next ingredient, our fagiolis, our beans. We're going to use romano beans, and I'm going to use canned ones. These cans are 540 milliliters or 19 ounces. And all I'm going to do with this first can, I'm going to just drain the liquid. I'm not going to rinse, but I'm going to drain the liquid. So I have now drained most of the liquid. It comes out really thick, and once most of it is drained, that's fine. There will be a little bit left in there, and that's quite all right. So that's one can. Get that out, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is the same thing with the second can. I'm going to drain it. However, the trick to this one is I'm going to only take half of this can out. I'm going to leave the other half in, and I'll show you why. Let me get this drained. So, like I said, we're going to now take about half of these beans out. And yes, romano beans are the bean of choice for this pasta fagioli dish. That's about half right there. Okay, and with the other half, I'm not even going to take them out of the can. With a hand immersion blender, we're going to blend and puree those beans. Okay, we've got a nice thick puree right there. Okay, yeah, I don't want to dirty any more utensils because I'm also the guy washing them. So I'm just going to leave these pureed beans right in the tin, and we're going to use them in our pasta fagioli. This is another one of those little secret tips of mine that really enhance this dish, take it up a notch. Okay, so I'm going to clean that off, and we're going to make our way over to the stove. So, in a medium-sized pot, we are going to add, you know it, extra virgin olive oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 generous tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Fire our stove up to medium heat. What I have here, folks, is I minced 1 clove of garlic. So 1 clove of garlic, in it goes. We're just going to saute this garlic for just about 30 seconds. All we want to do here is get our olive oil flavored. So let's bring that up to heat. There we go. That's the little sizzle that we're looking for. And be sure to use a good extra virgin olive oil. And if you need help in picking one out, if you haven't seen the video yet, I have a very good video that'll help you buy the right olive oil. I'll put a link in the description for you. But right now, we're going to add some onion. I have here I'm going to say small onion that I've sliced thin and diced. So we're going to add 1 onion, sliced and diced, to our garlic and olive oil. And now we just want to cook the onion for a few minutes, just till it becomes, you know, somewhat clear and translucent. So I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. Let's give it a little bit here. Let's get that sauteed up a bit. Our onions are looking really good, so that means I have here one small, medium-sized carrot that I've sliced and diced. We're going to add one medium-sized carrot that's been diced. We're going to add one rib of celery that I also sliced and diced. So we add our celery. I also have here one medium-sized potato that I have diced, as you can see there, into small cubes. We're going to add that. And then, of course, our beautiful ingredient, our pancetta. Now, if you don't have homemade pancetta, obviously, just go to your local deli and you'll be able to get some there. But I'll tell you, this fresh homemade, what a difference it makes. Now, we're going to blend all these together. And you want these to cook together now for about 5 minutes. We want all those flavors to come together. That pancetta is going to flavor everything in here very, very nicely. So we're going to give this about 5 minutes, and of course stirring occasionally as you go along. So let's give it about 5 minutes. That is looking really good already. So now what we could do is add our chicken broth and water. Now, I have my homemade chicken broth here. I took out of the freezer. Some are still frozen. It's still frozen chunks here, so I'm going to add it all. Liquid and frozen. Get it all in there. Okay, I didn't have enough time to thaw it out, but I'm going to put the temperature up to high. So basically what you want to do there is you want to add 1 liter of chicken broth and 1.5 liters of water. So total liquid, 2.5 liters. Okay, so now that we've got that in with my frozen homemade broth, what we're gonna do is we need to bring this to a boil. So let's bring it to a boil. Might take an extra minute or two because I've got some frozen broth in there, but anyhow, it'll come to a boil. We got it on high. Let's bring it to a boil. So there's the boil we've been looking for, and it didn't take that long. It took 10 minutes, even with that frozen broth in there. Okay, let me shut this oven off. Apologize about that humming noise. I had some cabbage rolls cooking in my other oven there. They're now done, and if you want to see that recipe, I'll put a link in the description because they're also amazing. Okay, so see that yellow on top? That's that beautiful olive oil we put in. Okay, so now that we've got a boil, we're going to add our romano beans. Straight in they go. You can see there's still some of that liquid. I didn't, like I say, I didn't drain it to the nth degree. And then we have that beautiful bean puree that we did earlier. And we're going to add, we're going to add all of that as well. So we get all that in there. And that, of course, has cooled our temperature down a bit. So what we're going to have to do is bring it back up to a boil. So let's get all this in. And by the way, before you put the beans in, you might want to check and add salt to taste. That would be the time to do it. I already did mine. I had my own homemade broth, so sometimes the ones in the store are salted, sometimes they're not. So, okay, there we go. So that's all in there. We're going to give a stir. Look at that. That puree is going to make a huge difference. And that chicken broth, folks, makes a difference too. You can, of course, make this without chicken broth and just use straight water. But again, we're enhancing flavor as we go along here with the pancetta and now this bean puree and the chicken broth. Everything's coming together really, really nicely. We need one more ingredient, and that's pasta, but we don't want to get that until we bring back to a boil. There we go. We got a vigorous boil going on there. Beautiful. Okay, so now what we need to do is add our pasta. I have here some d'Italia pasta. My mother used to call these tubettini. So a good one from Italy, nice good brand from Italy. And we're going to add that. We're going to keep this boiling. And according to the package, look at the package for the pasta, and this particular one is 9 minutes to al dente. So we're going to let this now boil for 9 minutes. We are about halfway through and we are boiling very nicely, folks. There we go. Just give it a little stir. Yes, my father's absolute most favorite dish, pasta fagioli. I just wish he was still here to be able to enjoy it. Okay, 9 minutes are up. Let's shut that down. Our pasta fagioli, folks, is ready. And isn't it a beautiful sight? Look at this. Okay. I'm gonna leave it right there. And I'm gonna scoop myself out some right away. I gotta get it to cool down a little bit, but I'm really looking forward to doing that taste test. Look at this beautiful plate of pasta fagioli. Folks, it's going to be nothing short of delicious. I know it. Okay, let me wait just a minute, cool this down, and it's time for the taste test. Okay, I know it's still steaming, but let's give a taste. What a rustic, flavorful Italian dish. Definitely one of my signature recipes right here, folks. Full of flavor. The perfect mix of beans and pasta and that little bit of pancetta, and we got just the right amount of broth. It's no wonder it was my father's favorite dish, and it's so healthy. You've got your carbs and your protein all in one plate. It's super flavorful, and it's that comfort. It's that Italian comfort food in a bowl right here. I really, really hope you give this recipe a try. You're gonna love it. I wanna thank you for spending time in the kitchen with me on today's episode of Cooking with the Koyas. And as always, folks, until next time, buon appetito. I'm gonna really enjoy this. That pancetta. You can substitute with prosciutto too if you don't have pancetta. But wow, is that good.